Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. Cell here, and in this video we're going to look at the SHEQXEL inspection schedule. So as the name connotes, this a template for scheduling your workplace inspections and logging the inspections that you carry out for the purpose of reporting. Many a times you're not able to report on inspections, or at least monitor some sort of a trend in your inspection program. So this template is actually going to help you to schedule and log your inspections, and at the end of the period you're able to report on the inspection performance. So without further ado, let's get straight into the features. So we have the approved list right here, and this is where you provide your list of inspection programs. So we've already pre-built it with a number of them. So we have drops inspection, fire extinguisher inspection, vehicle inspection, chemical inspection, first aid inspection, and a whole lot of other inspections. So you have the option to actually add on. And over here we have the frequency for those inspections. All right, now the frequency is coming from this section. So this is the source of the drop down list. All right, as you can see, from daily all the way to yearly, you can actually see that in a drop down list. Now one thing you need to know is that the frequencies have the time frame here. All right, and the time frames are quite important in the inspection schedule that I'll be showing you in a bit. Now over here we have the responsible persons, and here we have the job titles of the persons responsible for those inspections, and here is the department. Now over here we have the code. So in the inspection schedule we're going to be using the code, where P denotes planned and C denotes completed. And over here, as I earlier mentioned, we have the frequencies for those inspections. And over here, you'd have to indicate as whether you work on weekends or not. Once you indicate that you work on weekends, then it's going to adjust the daily frequency. So if you are doing inspection on a daily basis, then of course you are expected to have some inspection records for 365 days. If you don't work on weekends, it's gonna adjust the days that you're going to use to carry out inspections. All right, so it comes down to 261. Weekly is 52 weeks in a year. Bi-weekly is 26. Periods within the year. Monthly is 12 months in a year. Bi-monthly is 6 months in a year. Quarterly is 4 times. All right, 4 times in a year. So these are the time frames, and that is what is going to be showing in the inspection schedule. Now over here you're supposed to make sure that every year, beginning of every year, you indicate the starting date of the year. So if we get into 2023, you're supposed to enter 2023 here, so that it will be able to adjust the calendar. All right, so that is very simple. For instance, if I change this to make sure that we unprotect the worksheet, very important. All right, and every year we make sure that we start from beginning of the year. So assuming we are in 2023, okay. Now before that, let's take note of the fact that the dates start from January 2022. All right, 1st of January 2022, and the weekends have been dynamically determined. So once we change the year to 2023, we go into the schedule, you notice it changes automatically to January 2023, and all the weekends will be predetermined dynamically. So let's change it back. All right, and we go in there, and that is it, right? Over here we have the types of inspections, and you select them from the drop down. Now once you select the inspection, the frequency will automatically populate because we've already provided them here. So we use a VLOOKUP to actually pull them here, so that once you select, it's going to show. And the moment you select and the frequency pops up over here on the last end, it is going to indicate the planned sorry, the target. All right, so as you earlier mentioned, monthly is 12 times in a year, weekly is 52 times in a year. So as you plan your inspections, you denote with P. All right, all throughout the year you need to denote with P to indicate that you are planning for those inspections on various sections or various dates within the year. All right, so once we have all of them showing as P, or you would have to schedule them according to the frequency for the inspection. So if you're doing inspection on a monthly basis, then you're going to be indicating P on in each month, and that should sum up to 12 inspections that are being planned for the year, and the target is actually 12. All right, so the moment we start executing the inspections, it's going to update accordingly. Now over here we already have C in there. We need to get rid of it because that presupposes we've provided more than required. All right, so it's supposed to be equal. The planned and the targets are supposed to be equal all throughout. And the moment we begin to now close these inspections by denoting with C, all right, this is what is going to happen. If you go all the way to the end, you would notice that we've now been able to execute 2 out of the target, which is the 12. All right, so and then we have 10 remaining, which will still be there as planned. So the percentage completion is going to strike, the percentage of the completed from the total, which is 12, and that gives us 17. All right, so that is how you actually complete or schedule your inspections for the various inspection programs on this very sheet. Now over here, as you complete those inspections, you have the option to log all of them in here. All right, so you select from the drop down, you provide the issues found, the remedial action, and the person who did the inspection. Now mind that we've provided a password for you here that you can use to make all the changes you want. So you can insert new columns, as many as you can, because this is actually a template. You can add on to the template by inserting columns. For instance, at a glance, I can say that we can add on a lot more features. For instance, you can have the action status, you can have the target date, you can have the days due to be tracked for you. We intentionally did not add those features to this, so probably may consider that in the next update. The reason why we didn't consider including them here is basically because we have another template for logging all the deviations from inspections, like the corrective and preventive action tracker, but maybe we'll consider including them. So just watch out for the new updates. Now over here, as you complete the inspections based on the the findings, sorry, not the finding, based on the report that populates here, in terms of the percentage compliance, we've been able to transfer them onto the pivot table here, and you can now tell which of the inspection program has the highest completion rate, so that you can now gear your effort towards the ones that are not being carried out, so that you can actually close them out and be able to achieve 100% all throughout. Now this is the slicer that you can use to drill down and all. So if you want to send your inspection performance as a report, you can simply use this graph. All right, now at a glance, I think that I would want to do something really quick here as an add-on feature. I think that this template deserves a dashboard, so I'm just going to take use this opportunity to create a dashboard for this. So that's just by the way. So we'll grab the password over here, and then we would unprotect the workbook structure. So we quickly enter the password SHEQXEL IS. all right, and we would unprotect the worksheet as well, because I just want to have access to the password. All right, so with the password I can now Control C and use it to unprotect. Okay, I'm not going to unprotect any sheet. I'll just add on a new sheet and I'll call it dashboard. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I would get rid of the grid lines, and then I'll come here and copy this chart and paste it here. Okay, I'll reduce the size. I'll come here, copy this, the slicer, bring it here, and then increase the number of columns for the slicer. And then I'm going to make it a landscape rather than portrait. Okay, and maybe I should make it 5. All right, and increase the height of the slicer. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I would now insert a progress chart. So this is the average, or the average of all the percentage completion for our inspection programs. So we're going to try to insert an overall score using this very one. All right, because this is the average of all the completion rates. So rather than just copying this percentage using an equal sign to select, so that I can now plot the progress chart, I'm gonna do something here. Grand total VLOOKUP. I'll look up the value for this from the table, and then I would select the column where it can be picked from, and I'll hit enter. So I have the percentage here. I'll just change it into percentage. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the remainder of this, because now you're going to insert a progress chart. So I'll have to get the remainder of the 100%, so that is 70%. Now I'll select this. I'll go to the insert, go to the pie chart, locate the donut chart and insert. All right, so now I have a donut chart. I'll just remove this. I'll remove the label. I would also want to get rid of I'll make it a no fill. I would get rid of the background, the outline as well, and I'll simply copy this and bring it to the dashboard. So I'll post it here, and I would want to get rid of the outline as well. I'll get rid of any fill within the charts, and I'll try to center the charts. Now what I need to do next is that I need to clean it up a bit. So I'll change the color here, and then over here, this data point, I would change the color to let's see, ash. All right, let's go for ash. No, let's go for this one. Okay, and I think I like no, that's okay. Maybe we should reduce the size. We should increase the size or reduce it further, or just leave it like that. I think it's okay like this. All right, so what I need to do next is I would introduce a text box. I'll copy the text box, I'll place it over it, and make sure that the text box has no fill, there's no outline. And now I select it, make sure I select the outline. All right, make sure you select the outline of the text box. Now go to the formula bar, hit the equal sign, and come here and select the percentage. All right, that's it right there. So I'll just position it, center the number, and increase the font to let's say 32. All right, or something reasonable, something that fits into the space. So let's say 40%. I'll bolden it, and I may change the font type to, okay, that's not bad. All right, so I just copy the chart, copy the text box, and align it properly. So I'll just center it, and then again make sure it is in the middle, and then I'll group the charts. Right, so now we have a dashboard. Make sure that we align it properly. So I'm going to put it in the middle so that it fits properly. And this one, maybe I should reduce the height and resize it. Okay, so we have we are still building a dashboard. So let me introduce another text box that's for the title of the chart, and we'll call this overall score, or overall completion rate, overall rate, or whatever you want to call it. Let's call it overall score for all our inspection programs. All right, so I center it, put it in here. I can change it to, let's say, this, and increase the size. Of course, I need to make sure that the outline and the background are all no fill. I need to make sure that there's no fill in the text box, and then I increase I'll bolden it, or just keep it like this. Okay, so this size is 12, this size has to be 12 as well, so that they are consistent. And then I'll just insert a new text box for the label, or for the title of the dashboard. So I'll just bring it here, and and then enter the name of the dashboard. So what would we call it? Let's say inspection dashboard, isn't it? Inspection dashboard. I would center it, and then change the font and increase the size. Okay, and then again make sure that there's no fill on the outline and the text box itself. So that's just a quick dashboard I've created, but of course if I'm to add more features to it, then it's gonna be a lot, it's going to be much better. So for now, it's just for the purpose of this tutorial, it's just a random dashboard I've introduced. Okay, so what I need to do next is just make sure that we align them properly. Okay, and then we group the charts, and we also group this one together with this and this as well. So we group everything. So we have our new dashboard. We can now see the various, inspection programs. We can select a number of them to see the overall score and the individual program, scores or completion rates and all. So this is a dashboard that I just created. And of course, I did mention we can add more features to it. So the choice is yours, guys. This is not planned. I just thought we could add more features to it. Probably I'll consider that in the next update. But for the purpose of this tutorial, as we have already mentioned, this is just a template for scheduling your inspection program. So the main area of concern or main area of focus is this very sheet. You will schedule all your inspection programs on each specific date. Make sure that you schedule them according to the frequency. So if it's monthly, you should be setting, planning it for each month, so that at the end of the period we have 12 planned. If it is weekly, then you should be expecting to have 52. You have it planned for 52 times in a year and all of that. And then once you begin to close those inspections. You can actually log them to keep some documentary evidence that you're indeed carrying out those inspections, and you are tracking the issues found. Now, to start using the tool, that is very simple. Make sure that you have updated all the approved lists and everything, and then most importantly, get rid of all the data and get the sheet ready for your own data. So after you have gotten rid of all your data, there's another important step to take, which I'll be showing you in a bit. Alright, so as we can see, everything now goes to 0 except the target. And after you are done, make sure to go to the data tab on the menu and click on refresh all. So that is going to get rid of all the reports within the workbook, and we can now begin to schedule our inspection. So for now, we want to focus on vehicle inspection, and that is a monthly inspection. So that means that in every month we just have to make sure we schedule an inspection. So that is planned for the month of January, planned for the month of February, so as you would see here, we have 12 planned monthly inspections. All right, and the target is monthly because the target is 12 because it is monthly. Now that we've scheduled our inspection, we would have to now take time to complete them as we approach the dates that we've set for those inspections. And after we have carried them out, you can always go to the data tab, click on refresh all, then you'd see the performance. Okay, so this is 25% for vehicle inspection, and it's gonna be 25% for vehicle inspections. However, if you're looking at the average for all of them, then we've achieved 2% because we've not carried out inspection for these ones. So that is how simple it is. So that every time you carry out those inspections, then you'd make sure to complete the inspection log. All right, so thanks guys for your attention. Bye for now.